Hey bitches, it's Holland. What's good and welcome back to my channel. So, for today's video, I will be starting the third installment of my K-pop astrology birth chart reading series with the K-pop group Twice, and, as you can see by the title, the first member I will be reading is Jihyo. The birth time used for this reading is in fact confirmed by Jihyo in a V live stream where she confirmed her birth time to be 12:05 AM. But before we get into it, I recently uploaded a video, ranking zodiac signs in astrology based on my personal preference, a red velvet tarot card reading prediction for the year 2021, and a part 2 to my Lisa astrology birth chart reading, so if any of those videos sound interesting to you, you can access them in the iCards at the top right hand corner of the screen. Now let's get into the video. First is Jihyo's first house, the house of first impressions, your approach to life, identity, and your appearance. Jihyo is a Libra rising. This means when people first meet her, she puts on the persona of being charming, harmonious, and sociable. This aura attracts others to her, so she easily can gain friends and romantic partners. Libra risings approach life in a very objective and balanced way. They never want to only listen to one person's perspective, instead, they always try to consider all perspectives into account so that everyone's perspective is heard. Also, Libra risings approach life in a way to maintain harmony and peace. If that means them having to compromise or sacrifice something, then so be it. In terms of appearance, since Libra is ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty and aesthetics, they tend to be very physically attractive. Even if they don't adhere to society's traditional beauty standards, there is still something about them that others find to be very beautiful. She also has her moon in the first house. This means that Jihyo comes across as very caring, nurturing, emotional, sensitive, feminine, and she has this motherly aura when you first meet her. For her real appearance, the moon in the first house or a Cancer rising usually grants someone with a pale complexion, very dark hair, a round face, a short height, sensitive skin, large round eyes, and short arms and legs. Her moon is in Scorpio. While others may find security and comfort in material things, moon in Scorpio people seeks out emotional intensity. They are diggers when it comes to the world of emotion, and they can see beyond facades and cut right to the core of a person. This ability to see what isn't obvious to the rest of the world can be intimidating to others or wildly attractive, depending on the person. Moon in Scorpio people seeks out intense experiences. If their lives are regular in any way, there can be an unconscious need to test their own strength and stir up emotional excitement. Self-awareness and acceptance are probably the best way to handle this deep need for emotional drama. Moon in Scorpio people often has a strong fear of betrayal. She seeks out commitment and feels the need for someone to give up something for them. Next is her second house, the house of wealth, income, your sense of materialism, and values. Jihyo has her second house in Scorpio and her Pluto in the second house. Financial affairs for her are considered a private matter which she may not share even with her romantic partners. She does not appreciate public displays of wealth and does not throw money away on expensive presents or home decor. Since Scorpio and Pluto's energy is all about investments and obsessions, this can make her quite obsessed with material things even if she does choose to keep it private. She needs to learn the importance and the joy of giving. She must learn that nothing is given to her without effort and hard work. Next is her third house, the house of communication, your learning style, close friends, mental cognition, siblings, local community, and early education. Jihyo is a third house stellium with her Mercury, Venus, and Neptune in the third house in that order. Having a third house stellium means that she tends to focus a lot of energy on these aspects of her life. She also has a Capricorn stellium with those same 3 planets in Capricorn. This gives her an intense amount of Capricorn energy, making her take on a lot of Capricorn traits such as being hardworking, traditional, ambitious, sophisticated, resourceful, critical, pessimistic, resentful, and hyper-skeptical. Her third house is in Sagittarius. Since Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of abundance and expansion, whatever Jupiter touches expands, so Jupiter in the third house creates an abundance of siblings, local activity, early education, and communication skills. She is forward-looking and a real planner. She is endlessly curious and enjoys making happy connections with others. Sharing ideas with others is important to her, and she takes great pleasure in doing so. She can see the big picture and thus often are turned to for advice. She is sincerely interested in others, and she easily puts people at ease in social situations. Her Mercury is in the third house. Since her Mercury is the closest planet to her third house line, she will likely relate to this planet the most out of all the planets in her third house. This is a very exceptional house for Mercury to be in because the third house is ruled by Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, so having your Mercury placed in a Mercury-ruled house is a great thing to have. She is very interested in reading, teaching, speaking, exchanging ideas, and keeping current with the daily news. Her interests are many and varied, sometimes to the point that she barely skims the surface of any one topic. She is also very easily distracted, and her attention span can be quite short. Like a sponge, she is quick to learn and share what she knows with others. She can be very talkative when she has the chance. Her Mercury is in Capricorn. This means she tends to communicate in a very simplistic and straightforward way, wanting to always get to the point. She has a sarcastic and dry sense of humor, and linearly processes information, and is a big picture person. Her Venus is in the 3rd house. Since Venus is the planet of beauty and aesthetics, people with this placement tend to have pretty voices and are very interested in the arts. She is generally a very good mediator and objective thinker, constantly seeing all the perspectives of a situation. She may have a mischievous and manipulative side in which she may try to hide her true intentions from other people. She might engage in a lot of mind games, and others might eventually find out that she doesn't always mean what she says or say what she means. Her Venus is in Capricorn. She will try to win the heart of her crush by displaying self-control, presence of mind, and responsible behavior. She wants them to know she is goal-oriented, witty, savvy and controlled. She likes some measure of predictability in her relationships as she is cautious in love. She is conservative and willing to commit to relationships. Her Neptune is in the 3rd house. Since Pisces is known to be a very emotional water sign, many people with Pisces or Neptune influence on their 3rd house or Mercury tend to communicate in a very emotional way, or they tend to think with their heart rather than their head. Pisces is also the planet of delusions and mysticism, so this can cause her to struggle with articulating her thoughts clearly. For example, she may say something out loud that is very different from what she was originally planning to say in her head. Next is her 4th house, the house of your home, family, private life, childhood, self-care, femininity, and your relationship with your mother. Jihyo has a 4th house stellium with her Jupiter, Uranus, and the Sun in the 4th house in that order. Having a 4th house stellium means that she tends to focus a lot of energy on these aspects of her life. She also has an Aquarius stellium with those same 3 planets in Aquarius. This gives her an intense amount of Aquarius energy, making her take on a lot of Aquarius traits such as being progressive, humanitarian, intelligent, open-minded, innovative, individualistic, emotionally detached, stubborn, inconsistent, overly rebellious, and impulsive. Her 4th house is in Aquarius and her Uranus is in the 4th house. Since Uranus is the planet of eccentricity and uniqueness, she likely had an unconventional childhood. The concept of nurturing or being motherly doesn't come naturally to her. She may feel very emotionally detached and disconnected from her family. Jihyo's mother was very intelligent and logical but lacked the emotional capacity to be a nurturing mother. Her Jupiter is in the 4th house. Since her Jupiter is the closest planet to her 4th house line, she will likely relate to this planet the most out of all the planets in her 4th house. She may feel out of place in her own home and even your country of birth. Since Jupiter is the planet of expansion, is likely to have a large home or a large family. She may have traveled a lot from a young age. When having guests, she likes to make her guests as comfortable as possible in her home. In terms of parenting, since Jupiter is the planet of higher knowledge, Jihyo's mother may have been a very knowledgeable and wise person that she could seek guidance from. Her mother may have allowed her to be more independent and have the freedom to make her own decision. However, she may have felt like her mother wasn't in her life very much, felt a sense of distance from her mother, and she feels like her mom struggled to commit to her duties as a parent. She also attracts good fortune when she indulges in these aspects of her life. Her Sun is in the 4th house. She is proud of and creative around her home, and she was a very expressive, vivacious, and creative child from a young age, and she expresses power and takes on leadership roles in her family and at home. She invests a lot of her time, energy, and money into her home, and she prefers a home life that's comfortable, luxurious, and warm. Her mother is likely a very vivacious woman who is very creative, expressive, and performative, but she may have felt like her mom was very dramatic, self-centered, overprotective, and she may have felt in competition with her growing up. Her Jupiter is in Aquarius. She attracts the best fortune when she is tolerant, inventive, original, progressive, logical, and humanitarian. Next is her 5th house, the house of your creativity, hobbies, theatrics, procreation, casual romance, and children. Her 5th house is in Pisces. She is attracted to unusual, abstract, and intriguing art, hobbies, music, and pastimes or entertainment. Her go-to method of relaxation and unwinding is escaping through creative entertainment. She desires a dreamy romance in which that person feels like her soulmate and can connect to her on a subconscious level. However, Pisces makes her tend to idealize her partner and ignore red flags in toxic relationships. Her children are likely to take on a lot of Pisces traits such as being selfless, creative, imaginative, sympathetic, healers, moody, negative, overly optimistic, and an escapist. Her South Node is in Pisces. This means that in this lifetime, For her to grow as a person, she needs to release negative Pisces energy and characteristics, such as being in denial, deception, emotional manipulation, playing the victim, excuses, passivity, being scattered, making too many sacrifices, not paying attention to details, being easily seduced or charmed, and getting lost in her unrealistic fantasies. Since her south node is also in the 5th house, she needs to learn to not focus so much energy on her creativity, hobbies, recreational activities, performance, procreation, casual romance, and children. Her Saturn is in the 5th house. Since Saturn is the planet of restriction, self-discipline, and structure, Jihyo tends to restrict the way she expresses herself and her sense of spontaneity and fun, so she needs to realize that having fun and indulging in hobbies isn't a bad thing, and that constantly working hard all the time can be detrimental to her mental health. She also may struggle with learning how to be romantic and spontaneous in relationships. Lastly, since Saturn rules Capricorn, her children are also likely to take on many Capricorn characteristics such as being hardworking, responsible, disciplined, structured, ambitious, sophisticated, conservative, resentful, overly serious, hypercritical, and pessimistic. Her Saturn is in Aries. Saturn is the planet of obligations, responsibility, trial and error, and hard work, so whatever sign Saturn is in, that aspect of your life will require the most improvement throughout your lifetime. Having her Saturn in Aries, Jihyo will struggle when it comes to properly assert herself because she is afraid of failure and offending other people, so she needs to learn that being a little self-centered is perfectly normal and healthy for a human to be. She will struggle with self-confidence as well as learning to ask for help from others. Next is her 6th house, the house of your work and employment life, service, sense of usefulness, health, nutrition, and fitness. Her 6th house is in Aries. She tends to work hard, sometimes to the point of exhaustion. She puts a lot of energy into her work, and would do the best working for herself or for someone else but independently, as she can quickly become impatient if other members of a team are not working as fast as her. She can be very skilled at organizing and reorganizing, sorting, classifying, and analyzing. She puts a lot of energy into any job she does, and she can easily become riled up or defensive if someone criticizes or intrudes upon the work that she does. She also may be inconsistent in taking care of her health and might require the advice of someone to help him out. For her, she should find a job she enjoys doing and that helps her reveal her potential. Being emotional individuals, her work life may influence her attitude and overall mood. If she enjoys her profession, she will be happy and joyful, but when something goes wrong at work, she will express it and will get upset and be disappointed in her abilities. Next is her 7th house, the house of your shadow self, the qualities that balance you out as a person, one-on-one connections with others, marriage, and your future spouse. Her 7th house is in Aries. When dealing with partnerships, she tends to take charge and display leadership qualities, have a positive and optimistic mindset and display creativity. However, she can also be quite selfish, struggle to compromise and collaborate, and want her relationships to move quickly. Qualities that describe her future spouse and qualities that complement her as a Libra rising are being passionate, confident, ambitious, optimistic, energetic, proactive, action-oriented, and a leader. In terms of appearance, her future spouse is likely to have a more lean or athletic body type, average to tall height, a confident demeanor, and piercing eyes. Next is her 8th house, the house of intimacy, sex, deep connections with others, taboo subjects, death, monumental experiences in life, and shared finances. Her 8th house is in Taurus. She knows where to place her investments and other people value her advice when it comes to business matters. She is great at budgeting and saving and prefers not to rush things in life and accept the changes that happen gradually. She takes time when making decisions and uses her senses to transform her life. Sometimes, it might take too long for her to take action, in which case she needs to have someone to give her a jump start. For her death, since Taurus is ruled by Venus, this usually indicates a very peaceful passing. The death could be related to her throat or neck, overeating, diabetes, or caused by some earthly event like a natural disaster. She will likely die from an older age. She usually leaves a legacy before death, or her death will make history. Next is her 9th house, the house of your philosophical beliefs, ideologies, religion, ethics, morals, higher education, travel, and cross-cultural relations. Her 9th house is in Gemini. She approaches her religious and philosophical beliefs with logic. She thinks a lot about her beliefs and seeks to know factual information. She has an intense thirst for knowledge and she seeks to gain as much information as possible about any subject before making a decision about her opinion on it. She is curious about the world and the people who inhabit it. She is particularly interested in knowing what drives other people to be who they are and doing what they do. She might worry about finding the right way to do things and the right spiritual framework to follow, so she should give it time and let the things come to her naturally. Next is her 10th house, the house of your long-term goals, legacy, reputation, public image, career, and your father. Her 10th house is in Leo. This means that she urges to work towards her goals, success, and accomplishments. She hates taking orders from other people, which is surprising because she ended up picking a career in which she is constantly micromanaged. And since Leo rules the 5th house, the house of entertainment and theatrics, it makes sense for her to choose a career in which she performs on stage for the enjoyment of others. Her father is likely a very vivacious woman who is very creative, expressive, and performative, but she may have felt like her dad was very dramatic, self-centered, overprotective, and she may have felt in competition with him growing up. Her Lilith is in Leo and the 10th house. Since Lilith represents your worst qualities, Jihyo's worst qualities are that, at times, she can be arrogant, inflexible, prideful, controlling, competitive, and jealous. And since Lilith is in the 10th house, she will project these negative qualities onto her public image, reputation, goals, career, and relationship with her father. Next is her 11th house, the house of your friendships, groups, organizations, social awareness, progressiveness, technology, hopes and wishes, and sense of community. Her 11th house is in Virgo. Jihyo is a very reliable, supportive, and loyal friend that her friends can count on. However, she can be quite hypercritical and judgmental of her friends, but only because she wants them to be the best people they can be. She is practical when it comes to her dreams and goals, and she chooses a realistic approach to making her dreams come true and believe that her goals in life can be achieved through hard work and perseverance. Her North Node is in Virgo. This means that in this lifetime, for her to grow as a person, she needs to embrace positive Virgo energy and characteristics, such as solving problems with facts and hard data, accountability, leadership, responsibility, hard work, grounding routines, paying attention to details, reading the fine print, developing technical skills or mastery, setting clear boundaries, and standing up for herself. Since her North Node is also in the 11th house, she needs to learn to focus more energy on her friendships, groups, hopes and wishes, social awareness, sense of community, and progressiveness, which hopefully shouldn't be too difficult with her having an Aquarius stellium. Next is her 12th house, the house of sacrifice, selflessness, spirituality, your subconscious, repression, how you limit yourself, and escapism. Her 12th house is in Libra. This means, even though she is a Libra rising, she doesn't like to acknowledge that she is dependent on other people in more ways than she would admit to herself. Friendships and romantic relationships are extremely important in her life, and throughout her life, she is in a constant search for a soulmate. Her Mars is in the 12th house. She can be quick and final when it comes to ending things that have outworn their purpose. She should always watch for a tendency to keep things to herself to the point that she is self-sabotaging through impulsive or daring acts. She may repress her more passionate and energetic side. Her Mars is in Libra. She often reflects on things before they act. Decisiveness is not her strong point, and she tends to procrastinate, generally because she feels the need to weigh all of the alternatives before taking action. She can easily get caught up in defending herself and others, and although her overall goal is to live peacefully, she still often stirs things up with her desire to balance everything. She always plays innocent when she is challenged or in a confrontation. She is very passive-aggressive, mainly because she doesn't want to look like she is being too mean or aggressive, resulting in sneaky or manipulative behavior. On the upside, she knows how to compromise and is excellent at conflict management. Okay you guys, this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching. If you wish to purchase an astrology or tarot card reading from me, click the link in the description below. If you wish to DM me a private question that you have about one of my videos, here is my Instagram. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. And remember to stay snatched.